Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nerds of the Multiverse channel. Today is going to be the very first time that we have ever done a tier list on this channel. It's going to be pretty fun. We're going to be doing movies and shows of the MCU. And I already know, there's going to be differing opinions between you and me. I got a couple buddies that we did a tier list on our TikTok live stream last week, and we definitely had some differing opinions. Chat had differing opinions, but that is okay. We're all entitled to our own, and we're just going to have some fun today. So, as you can see, there is a tier list up on the page. We have S, A, B, C, D, E, and F as the rankings. So, obviously, S is superior. It's like top-notch, top-tier movies. That's how we're doing the rankings. A's really good, a little bit less than the best, but there. B's pretty solid. C's kind of getting, okay, this is okay / mid. D, this is not a very good movie, but it's not the worst. E is going to be where I put my least favorite, the worst of the worst movies. And F is going to be the section that we use for I don't know. Because there's a couple movies and shows on here that I have not seen. I've seen most of them, but still haven't seen a couple. So I want to make sure that we are not just putting those in the worst category because I haven't seen them. That's not fair. So we're going to be doing that for the ranking today. So we're going to start off with The Incredible Hulk. And I'm not going to lie, I actually really enjoyed this film. I didn't see it even until last year for the first time. So, where would I put The Incredible Hulk? At the moment, now this list might change as we go, as I'm ranking. I kind of forget where I put all my stuff the other night. But at the moment, we're going to be putting the Hulk, The Incredible Hulk, B. Now keep in mind, this is not me putting these movies like in order of what I have them above each other. They're just going to be in this category. We're not going to rearrange. We're going to do a separate video for that where we're going to rank each project, and I'm going to put them above one another, but this is just kind of what category they're in. So, up next, we have Iron Man. Now, this is the start of it all. I love the Iron Man movies. I was 7 years old when this movie came out. I remember seeing it, and I fell in love. This movie was great. This movie was just so awesome, and it kicked off the MCU. I already loved Spider-Man and things like that when I was a kid, but this movie, as far as MCU-wise goes, this movie is phenomenal. It's a start. It's great to rewatch, and I'm going to put it in the A category. I think it deserves to be in the A. It's that good to me, and that I don't think is a hot take. I think there's some people who really love this movie. There's people who are probably not as high on it, but I do think that this movie is good. So, moving on to Iron Man 2. Now, this is where I think the trilogy for Iron Man fell off a little bit. There's good moments. There's definitely great scenes. The introduction of Black Widow. We have Whiplash in this movie, who I thought was fine. War Machine was introduced. It was the first time we saw Don Cheadle because Terrence Howard got replaced. It's not a bad movie, but it's definitely not my favorite. And I think overall the story's not great. So for that reason, at the moment, this may change, I'm putting it in the D category. I don't think it's very good, to be honest. It's enjoyable. I will watch it if it's on the TV. But overall, I'm just not that impressed by it as far as going from the first one to the second one. So that's where that's going to be placed. Up next, we got Thor. I personally really enjoy the first Thor movie. I know there's a lot of people who don't rank this movie as high, especially because it's very, very serious. Chris Hemsworth had like bleached eyebrows. It was strange, but it's the first time we got the character. The music is phenomenal. The story was very well written, I thought. We got to have Loki for the first time. First time we saw Tom Hiddleston. I enjoyed this movie, and we got to see Asgard for the first time in the Frost Giant. So personally, I'm probably gonna put Thor at the moment. I'm gonna go B as well. I'm gonna go B along with the Hulk. I enjoyed both of those films very much. So I think this is what we had the other night as well. Okay. This is where it starts getting crazy. So this is where I have a hard time ranking this movie because I'm really high on the first Captain America movie. Is it my favorite of the trilogy? No, I don't think it's the best of the trilogy either. 4, actually, now, if you include Sam Wilson as the new Cap. But as far as the Steve Rogers trilogy goes, I love this film. I get excited every time I watch this film, but it pains me to do this. I'm still going to put it in the B category. It's still a good movie to me, but I can't put it as high as I probably would like it because there's some heavy hitters on this list. And one of them's coming up next. One of them is coming up next, and that is the first Avengers film. This movie is the start of it all as far as teams go. We were building up to this first initial moment. Nick Fury was gathering them throughout the films. Obviously, Iron Man started it all. Cap was pretty close behind after the Hulk. We had Thor. Black Widow made her appearance in Iron Man 2. Hawkeye made his appearance in Thor. And this was the first time they're like, okay, we're going to see if this works. See if we can put these 6 heroes in one movie and make sure that it's a good story, make sure they all feel like a team. And they were just trying to figure out how to work as a team in the film. And I honestly love this film. Going back and watching it, it makes you appreciate it more, in my opinion. So I'm personally going to put the Avengers. The first Avengers film is currently at an S for me. It's the first S on the list, and I think it's well deserved. If that movie didn't work, we wouldn't have anything else, because they're like, oh, well, this is a flop, we can't make any more team movies. Think about how many other Avengers films we've had and we're getting. Think about other team-up movies like Civil War, like Fantastic Four that's coming out soon, the Thunderbolts, which is already out. That movie is the reason we have these movies, so it deserves an S in my opinion. Okay, this is where it's going to get controversial. Iron Man 3. I am personally higher on this film than most people, because you have the whole end with all of the suits of armor. I think that's one of the best scenes in the entire MCU. Like that, the whole Iron Legion army just showing up and saving the day, and they're all like just commanded by Tony. Jarvis is like, oh man, that film has so many good moments. There's some really bad ones too. The whole concept of what they did with the Mandarin, terrible. So I understand why people would have this lower. Some people may even put it lower than Iron Man 2. In my own personal opinion, I think it's better than Iron Man 2. It's just kind of, am I going to go too high with this, or am I going to go probably where it should be? Personally, at the moment, I would like to put it in B. I'm not going to. I'm going to put it in C for now. I'm going to put it there. It has the potential to go up, but we'll check that out later. Okay, up next, we have Thor: The Dark World. I understand most people despise this movie. It's been listed as one of the worst movies in the entire MCU by several people for a long time. I understand that. I used to be someone who had that same exact opinion, because it just was like, the first time I watched it, I didn't even finish it. I fell asleep. It took me about 4 times to get through the movie, so I was bored. But I'm not going to lie, the more that I've watched it, the older that I get, I appreciate it more and more, and I actually enjoy it more and more. And I think that it has to do something with what's happened with Thor's character later on in the MCU, that I kind of appreciate that side of him a little bit better. So personally, this probably would have been an E movie for me. It would have. Now, not so much. I actually enjoy The Dark World more than I enjoy Iron Man 2. So I'm going to put it in C, the same level as Iron Man 3, which I do enjoy Iron Man 3 a lot. But I'm putting it down a little bit just because, oh man, I might end up moving Iron Man 3 up to the B. We're doing it. Why not? Because I do enjoy Iron Man 3 more than I enjoy Dark World. So I think that's fair. Okay. Heavy hitter. This is some people's favorite movie in the entire MCU. Personally, it's not my all-time favorite movie as far as the MCU goes. There's There's a couple better ones. But this movie is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And it's going in the S category. And it's... scroll up a little bit. Not C. It's going in the S category. And I think that's well-deserved. My own personal opinion, I think it's the best of the Cap with Steve Rogers trilogy. I think it has some of the best fight choreography. The Winter Soldier was awesome. I actually really like that spy espionage type feel. And it was like just a very, very well done movie in my opinion. I know some people are not as high on this movie just because they think it's boring. They think it's drawn out too much. I love this film. And I know most people do, but it has to be an S tier. I don't even think I really need to defend that. Okay. So, here we go. We got Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie, in my own personal opinion, was great. Like, I really enjoyed the first Guardians. I did not know a thing about them before I saw this film. Never knew they were even characters. And when I first saw this movie, I was like, wow, that was fun. And like I can remember just being a kid, younger kid, teenager, watching this, and I was just like, that was a blast. And I still have that feeling when I go back to rewatch it now. And it's for that reason that this movie is going to be in the A category. So, here's the list so far. We're making some progress. Okay, next we have Avengers Age of Ultron. This is another one of those movies that people were kind of low on. And I used to be a lot lower on it than I am now. It's kind of like The Dark World for me. But it's still an Avengers film. And the more that I watch this as I get older, it's awesome. And you actually get to see them work as a team. This is probably the only movie that they're working as a team the whole movie. Because the first movie, they're learning to be a team. This movie, they are a team. The third movie, they're split up because of Civil War. So, this has to be, in my personal opinion, I'm putting it in an A. It's not an S for me because there are issues with it. It's better than Thor: The Dark World for sure. It's an Avengers film. Come on. So we're putting this in the A category. And remember, like I said, this is not like, oh, I think The Incredible Hulk is better than Thor. I'm not saying that in this list. But they're in the same level. Same category. So, Age of Ultron, A. Oh boy, here we go. Ant-Man. I personally really enjoy the first Ant-Man film. It's a blast. It's a ton of fun. It's just like a heist. Get to see Scott Lang for the first time, Hank Pym, Evangeline Lilly, who I've actually met in person. Got a signed Funko Pop up there. I enjoyed this film. It's a fun time. And I'm higher on this film than I am the other two. But I'm personally going to be putting Ant-Man, I'm putting it in the B category. I enjoy it. I have a blast every time I watch it. If I ever just want to kind of chill and just not take something so serious, turn on Ant-Man. Ant-Man's a great film. And I like Paul Rudd. Scott Lang's a cool character. So, Ant-Man's in the B. Up next, Civil War. This movie, great. It doesn't really feel like a Captain America movie. It feels more like an Avengers movie. But it's really good. And I really enjoy it. I know there's people who enjoyed this film better than Civil War. I'm pretty sure my friend, Nerds of Ren, Trey, is one of those people. But I personally enjoy Winter Soldier a little bit more. But this movie, in my opinion, is still an S. Get the introduction to Black Panther in this film. That's sick. Seeing the two sides. Get the introduction to Spider-Man in this film. Like, this movie was awesome. I've seen stuff about Andrew Garfield, who was going to be potentially Spider-Man in this movie first, and then they scrapped that. Like, no, we're going to get somebody younger, going to get Tom Holland. But Andrew being my favorite Spider-Man, I kind of wish that would have been a thing. He definitely would have been on Team Cap, not Team Iron Man, but I still love this movie, and I love Tom Holland. Tom Holland's great. So, moving on to Doctor Strange. This movie's another one of those movies, like Guardians. I did not know who Doctor Strange was when I went to see this movie. I saw this with my older sister, and when we went and saw this in the theaters, we're like, well, we don't know what this is, but we're gonna go see it. It's Marvel. So we went and saw it. This movie's fun. It's a blast. Good story. I like the character. Benedict Cumberbatch is phenomenal. Any movie with Mads Mikkelsen, phenomenal. So, really good. And it introduced us to just more of the mystic side of Marvel, which I thought was great. So, Doctor Strange 1, I'm putting that in the A category. I think it's on the same level as Age of Ultron, Guardians, and Iron Man. So, Doctor Strange. Moving on to Guardians 2. This movie is still fun. It's still good. In my own personal opinion, I think it's not as good as the first film. Mainly because of Ego, the Living Planet. I think that really brought down the movie. Kurt Russell's phenomenal. But it just wasn't it for me. The whole scene with like Groot pressing the button, phenomenal, hilarious. You have the emotional scene of Yondu and his sacrifice at the end. That movie just, it has all the right elements to it. But I'm a little bit lower on this film, and for that, I'm kind of debating. I don't remember what I did the other night, but I'm either a B or a C on this film. And most likely, I'm probably going C. But it's alright. It's definitely my least favorite of the trilogy. If I had to pick one to watch, it's not going to be that one over 1 or 3. But it's still not bad. Okay, so Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, if you guys cannot tell who my favorite superhero is, just look at the banner or the profile of my channel. It's obviously Spider-Man. But, with that being said, this movie's not an S-tier movie for me just because it's Spider-Man. I am going to rank this, try to be... It's a little bit biased, obviously it's my list, but I'm going to try to be fair where I'm ranking them. And I love Tom Holland. I thought Michael Keaton as the Vulture was phenomenal, and introducing him was great. I thought he did great as the character. Seeing a younger Spider-Man, which I know we saw him in high school in the other two, but this is a younger actor at the time playing Spider-Man, and it was enjoyable. But I personally think that Homecoming is a B movie as far as MCU goes. It's really good. I had a blast watching it for the first time. I remember I was wearing my Mickey Mantle jersey that day. I don't know why that's coming back to me now, but I was 16 years old when that movie came out, so I can remember that movie. And I think the fact that I can remember details about that day, I had a good time. But overall, not upper echelon of Marvel for me. Really good, though. Okay, Thor Ragnarok. This is a movie I'm sure a lot of people, some people probably have this in their top 5 Marvel movies. And I think it is a phenomenal film. Probably this and Infinity War is my favorite version of Thor. He was serious, but he was also comical. And I think this was a good mix of serious and comical. And with this film, they knocked it out of the park. At the time, they didn't have the rights to the Hulk for standalone movies, so they put part of the World War Hulk storyline in here where he's on Sakaar and he's battling. And that's cool. And I'm glad we got to see that. Now I kind of wish that we saved it because we have the rights to the Hulk now. But this movie is great. It's definitely my favorite of the Thor films. And some people probably would put this in an S category. I'm personally putting it in an A category. There's parts of it, and I'm like, okay, I want to put it higher than what it is. And then there's other things, and I'm like, eh. So I think A is solid. I think A is where it belongs. But I'm sure there's going to be a different opinion on that. That's okay, though. Moving on to Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, Wakanda forever. Man, this movie was great. I really enjoy this film. I know people who don't really care for this film. But I thought Michael B. Jordan was great. I thought Killmonger's character was just phenomenal. I thought Claw was cool. But Chadwick Boseman, Angela Bassett, phenomenal. Phenomenal. And this introduced me to Black Panther for the first time. I didn't know too much about him. There's several characters I didn't know of before these films. Obviously, you knew like Avengers type characters. You knew Spider-Man. But I'm sure there's other people who just, I knew Black Panther. I read the comics. I was not really into the comics that young. but I've gotten more and more into them as I've gotten older, and Black Panther was phenomenal. I really enjoyed this film, and I can just see the scene now, like where T'Challa he's like, I did not yield, when he's coming over the hill, and oh man, he's like, I am not dead. Yeah, I could see it. I want to watch Black Panther now. We're putting this in an A movie for me. Okay, here it is. I don't really think I have to say much about this film. S. Avengers Infinity War. I will say this now confidently. I used to not say that this was the... Well, I used to not say it was the best. I used to say Endgame was better. But I think I just have a lot of nostalgia coming into the opinion of Endgame. I do now acknowledge this is a better film. It is a way better film. Endgame has a lot of plot holes. The last 40 minutes of Endgame is phenomenal. There's some really good moments, but this movie is a better movie, and it's the best movie in the entire MCU. That's how you know we're not ranking this by, oh, what's better? Because, yeah, it's the best. It's the best of the best. And I don't think there's a lot of room for debate there without bias coming into people's opinions. This movie's phenomenal. It was a culmination. This and Endgame was the culmination of 10 years. So, yeah, phenomenal. Infinity War is great. Don't really have to say much else. Ant-Man and the Wasp. This movie was fun too. Definitely not as high for me as Ant-Man because I don't know. Ghost is a good character. I like her better now for seeing the Thunderbolts. And you got to see Lawrence Fishburne in that movie. It was great. And Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly and Michael Douglas. They're all great. And it's still good. Any movie with Luis is awesome. I just thought the plot was a little bit lacking. This has probably one of the greatest post-credit scenes in the entire MCU, though, with like Ant-Man getting dusted. Well, no, he's in the quantum realm, but everybody else getting dusted, like Hope, and he's stuck in the quantum realm. Like, that's sick, and it led into Endgame. So, Ant-Man and the Wasp is probably a C-tier movie for me. I think it's fun, fine, but overall, not my favorite. Not my favorite. Captain Marvel. This is probably going to be controversial with people. Personally, and this is not attacking Brie Larson as a person. I think she's great. I think she's a good actress. I just don't really like the character of Carol Danvers. I'm honestly annoyed with Captain Marvel, to be honest. Like I said, nothing against Brie Larson. This movie was not a bad movie whatsoever. I personally, it's not my favorite. I would put it lower if there wasn't redeeming factors of it, because I really enjoy seeing a young Nick Fury and a young Coulson, and we get an introduction to the Skrulls. So this film, for me, I'm probably going to put it... I'm putting it in a D. There's just not a ton about it that I'm like, I love. I don't enjoy watching it more than Iron Man 2, but I'm not going to put it in an E. I'm not going to put it as the worst of the worst. I don't think it's that, because I do enjoy parts. But Dark World, in my opinion, is better. Guardians 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Iron Man 2, better. So, Captain Marvel's in the D category. Avengers Endgame, like I mentioned earlier, I used to say that this was the best film. I've acknowledged now that it's not, and we're going to put this, it's not going to be a B, it's going to be in an S, right next to its counterpart of Infinity War. This movie, I still watch scenes from this movie and I get emotional, especially when Cap says Avengers Assemble. Great. Absolutely great. I had real tears in this movie, and I just feel like a kid every single time I see scenes from this movie. This movie is a top-notch film, and it's top tier on the tier list. Okay. Spider-Man Far From Home. Like I mentioned, this movie I thought had a lot of really good moments. I'm talking, I didn't already say this, but Far From Home, Jake Gyllenhaal was phenomenal. I personally think of the 3 Spider-Man films that we've gotten so far, this is the worst. I'm not a big fan of Spider-Man not being in New York City. I get why they did it for the plot, but not a fan. I don't know. For the biggest thing I dislike about the Tom Holland films is it always seems like he can't stand on his own because he always has to have a mentor. Nick Fury was part of that in this. Jake Gyllenhaal started off as his mentor as Mysterio, and then later became the villain, which he was phenomenal. He's the best part of that film. He carried. But there's just a lot about this movie that I'm just like, There's good moments, but I'm probably going to put Far From Home. I'm going to do something, though. I'm going to put Far From Home in a B, and I'm going to move Homecoming up to an A. I think that's a little bit better, because Homecoming I do enjoy more than Far From Home. And it's a Spider-Man film, so I think that's a... I'm going to let that marinate for a second. I might move Homecoming back down. Okay. So that is the entire Infinity Saga right there. And as you can tell, I don't have anything in the E yet. I don't have anything in the E category yet. There's a couple that will be there. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's probably about 3 on this list. So, getting into the multiverse saga, and we have the shows, a couple shows first. We have WandaVision. I'm actually currently rewatching WandaVision, and I loved it the first time. I love it so far right now. Personally, it's not an S tier category for Marvel for me, but I'm going to put this in the A category. I actually really enjoy WandaVision. Just what they did with all the different eras of like time, like all 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. It's just so cool, and it all culminates to the end. And there's some things about the finale I don't love, but overall, the show is phenomenal. So I will personally put WandaVision in an A. I think that's agreeable by a lot of people. Next, we have The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This show I just rewatched recently as well. Personally, when I first watched it, I thought it was a good show. Not a great show, not superior, top tier, or anything like that. But after rewatching it, I do enjoy it more than I did the first time. It really helps you connect a little bit more with Sam, especially rewatching it. And Bucky is great, and seeing just what he's doing. I think the thing that brings this show down for me a lot is the Flag Smashers. They're not a great villain. They're not bad, but they're just in my opinion. So, overall, I'm going to put The Falcon and the Winter Soldier probably B. I think that's fair. I enjoy other shows more, and that's why it's here. Not a bad show. It's still a very good show. Like I mentioned earlier, I love all these films. This is a good show. Just not better than WandaVision for me. Not on the level of WandaVision either. Okay, Black Widow. Black Widow, I enjoy as a film. I think there's a lot of really good elements of it. Obviously, Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh. Don't need to say anything else. They're phenomenal. They are phenomenal. I will say a little bit more. They're phenomenal. And the Red Guardian is hilarious. We get to see Natasha's backstory. A couple gripes with this film. One, this movie was like 4 years too late. They should have put this out after Civil War. It would have made more sense. I know COVID happened, and we had all that. But this movie would have made more sense earlier. And when it came out, it made it drop in ranking from me. And I think a lot of people. Also, Taskmaster. I think the actress who plays Taskmaster did a fine job. But they changed the character, and it fit with the story that they did. But I wish we would have gotten more Taskmaster, and I wish it was more comic accurate. That's one time where they kind of changed the character, and I was not in favor for. So, Black Widow, still a good movie. I'm personally going to put Black Widow. I think I'm still going to put it in a B. I enjoy Black Widow. And I will rewatch it. I enjoy it when I rewatch it. There's great moments in it. But like I said, those couple gripes, could have been better. Okay, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This film, in my own opinion, was phenomenal. Like, when this is a film that was just fresh. Seeing Kung Fu, I could be wrong if it's not Kung Fu, correct me in the comments. But seeing this Simu Liu take on this role and seeing the story that they built around it, seeing the dragon at the end, seeing the true Mandarin is kind of at this point we're like, oh, whatever. But this movie was great. It's a top movie since Endgame for me. It's one of the things that they've done right since then, and I loved it. My least favorite part of the movie is Aquafina. It's mainly because she was B Fresh in NBA 2K17, and I think it was 17. Could not stand that character. Could not stand the character. So she's fine in the movie. Katie's a fine character. She's not as annoying or getting under your skin as in NBA 2K, but Shang-Chi, great film. Great film. This is an A-level film for me. And I think it is highly deserved. I'm looking forward to the sequel whenever they make that. Okay, Hawkeye. I have a blast with Hawkeye. I just rewatched this. I'm rewatching all the shows, if you haven't caught on. But I rewatched Hawkeye recently, and I thought this show was great. And overall, just I had a blast. I thought it made me appreciate Jeremy Renner more as Hawkeye. I love Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld, Yelena. Kingpin got to be introduced in this show into the MCU, his first appearance, and I'm happy that Vincent D'Onofrio got to come back. I have met him as well, cool guy, and I like this show a lot. I think I called it a film a couple times there, but that's okay. But this show, in my personal opinion, I think is higher than Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's an A-level show for me. A. There's going to be a lot in the A's. I enjoy a lot of Marvel. So, okay, here we go. The Eternals. Not going to say much. I just didn't enjoy it. Bored. Trying to introduce 11 new characters in one movie. Insane. And haven't got anything of them since. Don't like it. Okay, moving on. Spider-Man No Way Home. Man. If I could go back and rewatch this again, I would. For the first time. Because I had a blast. Seeing... I'm just going to go ahead and put it where it belongs. This is an A. I think I put it in an A. Actually, no. No, I think I put this in as an S. This is an S, yeah. Yeah, that's better. That's right. Trying to think back a little bit for ranking these. I do love this film. And I know that I'm higher on it than people. There's definitely plot holes. This is kind of where my bias for Spider-Man comes out. I love the character. And getting to see my childhood Spider-Man, my teenage Spider-Man, and like my high school / early college and into now Spider-Man, adult Spider-Man. Great. This movie made me feel every type of emotion, anger, sadness, like pure enjoyment. I love this film. And I understand there's a lot of reasons why people would not put this on the same level as the Avengers and the Cap movies. I don't care though. I'm pulling it out on this one. I don't care. I love Spider-Man, and this movie was a great time. So it's going in the S category. Okay, we're getting down to the... We still have quite a few to go, but we're getting down. We're making a huge dent. This is a big dent so far. A category is currently leading as well. Moon Knight, though. I love Moon Knight. I thought this show was great. I thought that this show, it's not going in the B, don't worry. This show's same level as Hawkeye, WandaVision for me. And honestly, after rewatching it recently, I loved it more. I love a lot of these projects more after I've seen them. Gave them a couple years to rewatch them, and now that I've had time and see them again, yeah. Oscar Isaac's performance in that show is phenomenal. Just the way that he played Mark Spector and Stephen Grant and even Jake Lockley for a little bit. He did great. And one of the best performances in the entire MCU. So, and there's some really cool fight scenes, and there's really cool graphics and just shots in that film, or show, sorry. But, yeah, I love Moon Knight. Okay, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is a good film. Marvel's first attempt at kind of trying to do a horror type film. But, man, it did very well. Again, this was kind of like weird times for movies when it came out, but I thought with what they had to work with, it was great. Scarlet Witch, phenomenal. I love Elizabeth Olsen. Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Wong, phenomenal. I think the only thing that I kind of get really upset about this film is how quickly they killed all the Illuminati. That was not enough time, especially because they built them up so much. We get, finally, John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, which we all wanted. We get Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart back. Oh, man, it was sad. And she just kind of, like, messed all of them up just so quickly. And it was a little bit too fast for me. I wish they had more screen time. But still, this film, same level as its... Oh man, no, it's not a D. It's the same level as its predecessor in the first Doctor Strange. So I have both of those as A movies. They've done very good with Doctor Strange so far. And I hope that continues. Okay, Miss Marvel. I have a reasoning why I'm going to rank this show where I rank it. Let me preface this by saying I love Iman Vellani. She did phenomenal in her role as the character. Nothing against her. My only thing about this show is I feel like this show is targeted for the audience of like a teenage girl. So I couldn't really relate with that, obviously. And there's great moments. I like the family dynamic. I thought that Miss Marvel was cool. And just seeing her, but like I mentioned, Iman Vellani, phenomenal. She did great. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of her in the MCU. But just because I can't really relate to this show a lot, I'm probably going to put this... I didn't dislike it whatsoever. I'm going to put it in the D category, though, just because it's not for me. I couldn't... It's like one of the first Marvel projects I watched, and I'm like, wow. I kind of feel weird watching this, just because like, it was just different. But she did great. If I could base it off of her performance alone, I'm probably putting B or A, because she did great. But that's why it's there. Oh, my goodness. I know there's controversy here. This movie is garbage. Garbage. Honestly, probably my least favorite thing in the entirety of the MCU. Reason being... there's several. Yes, I know we got the most powerful version of Thor. And Chris Hemsworth did fine. We got the Mighty Thor. We got Natalie Portman as the Mighty Thor. Should have been great. Oh, actually, it wasn't bad, her performance. We got Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher, but only for 10 minutes. 10 minutes for Christian Bale being the lead antagonist of a film. That's a crime. And personally, I just could not handle the amount of comedy they put into this film. Ragnarok was a phenomenal mix between seriousness and jokes. This movie felt like they had to make a joke every single line. And I hated it. I just did not enjoy this film. I just cannot stand it. I think that they really downgraded Thor from where we were. And you wasted Christian Bale. And there's not a lot of good things about this movie, in my opinion. I have not rewatched it since. I don't really want to be honest. I probably will at some point, just to see if my opinion will change. But at the moment, I can't stand Love and Thunder. Even Chris Hemsworth says that he wants to be a different version of Thor in the next film because he didn't enjoy this movie. And I'm happy that... I don't want anybody to be fired from their job, but I'm happy that they're moving on from Taika Waititi as being a director. They need somebody new. They need a new direction, and they need to get Thor back to where he was. Because, in my opinion, I don't care if he's the most powerful version of the character or not. I understand, Cam. You're going to be in the comments. It's just like the comics. I've never read the comic. and this shouldn't have to be just like the comics, because the comics are supposed to be standalone from the films. I don't care what they say. This is not the Earth 616, as Aman Vellani would say. This is something that Kevin Feige is wrong on. This is not the comic universe. Obviously, there's a lot of differences, and I don't care if you tried to make this movie just like the comics. It's bad. And I'm very high on a lot of Marvel things, as you can tell. Most things are B or above, but that movie, in my opinion, trash. And I was not a fan. So I will get off my soapbox now. Actually, no, I won't, because, oh man, She-Hulk. I have a hard time ranking this because my second favorite, if not, like, I have a 1A and a 1B of favorite characters in Marvel. Daredevil is in this. I've met Charlie Cox twice. Awesome guy. I love Daredevil. This show was definitely not good. I think the whole twerking thing with Megan Thee Stallion was stupid. I'm sure there's a lot of people going to differ with that opinion because, you know, they're all about just lust, which I'm not going to comment too much about that. But that was just put in there, and people were fine with it just because of what happened. But CGI, not great. I loved the scenes that we got with Daredevil. I thought it was cool. The yellow suit's definitely not my favorite suit, but I'm glad we got to see it at least in action for the first time. Abomination was fine. I don't think the show had really good villains. And I honestly, it's another D. Sorry, E. Those are the E's for me. Did not enjoy them. So, not going to comment too much about them anymore. Werewolf by Night. There's actually 2 versions on this list, I believe. No, that was a different list. We did a list the other night, and they had a colored and non-colored version of Werewolf by Night. So, we put them together. But, overall, I really enjoyed Werewolf by Night. I thought it was cool. I've only seen it the one time, so I need to rewatch it. I think it'd be a great thing to watch at Halloween time. But, yeah, I enjoyed this. I thought it was good. And personally, I'm probably going to put it in an A. Because it introduces some new characters, not an overwhelming amount. It was a good time. And I'm looking forward to the supernatural side of Marvel. Werewolf by Night, Swamp Thing, Elsa Bloodstone. Midnight Suns are coming in the next saga. So, it's going to be cool. Okay, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I don't dislike this film. My friend Cam, he doesn't even view this as a film. And then you have Nerds of Ren, Trey, who really enjoys this film. Personally, I think it's alright. There's things I love, there's things I dislike. Obviously, I would have preferred we still had Chadwick Boseman, but that did not happen. Rest in peace. I thought that his funeral scene in the film was phenomenal. They handled that correctly. It was very well done. I don't mind Shuri as the Black Panther. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a permanent thing. The scene with little T'Challa at the end, awesome. I even enjoyed Namor. I thought he was great. I just don't view this movie as being a top tier movie. It's definitely not better than the first one in my own personal opinion. But I'm not going to put it in extremely low category either. I'm going to say it's a B. That's just where I would rank it. I know people who probably have it upper. I don't think that's a bad spot to put it, though. It's kind of like, it's in the upper middle for me. So that's where Wakanda Forever is. Guardians Holiday Special. Okay, I understand this is not a movie. This is more just like an hour of just seeing the Guardians at Christmas time. Phenomenal. I had a blast watching this. It was a feel-good Christmas story, and we find out about Star-Lord and Mantis being siblings in the MCU in this. It was revealed. I personally am going to put it in an A. I thought it was a fun time. I'm not going to say too much about it, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Yikes. This film has good moments. The CGI in this film, it almost seems like the CGI is way too much. It's like overwhelming. And we have Kang. Jonathan Majors' performance was great. My only gripe with it is, why on earth are you teasing the next big bad of the MCU? Obviously, this is before he got removed as Kang the Conqueror. But why on earth is the new big bad getting defeated by ants? I know it's an Ant-Man movie, which is strange to put Kang in this. That was, in my opinion, dumb. And it's the worst of the Ant-Man movies, in my opinion, and I'm putting it in the D section. It's just not good movie. Not a good movie for me. Moving on to Guardians 3. My goodness gracious. My goodness gracious. This is an A for me. Oh man, that's tough. Yeah, I will put it in an A. I do enjoy this film quite a bit. I would put it above the first Guardians slightly. I love the first Guardians, but this film for me it was a great wrap up for all of these characters. The scene where they're all fighting in the hallway at one time, phenomenal. My goodness. You get to see Rocket's backstory, which was tragic. This was an emotional film, and it was really well done. And like I said, I think it's the top of the Guardians, so it's going to be A for me. I wouldn't put it in S. I know there's people who probably think I'm insane for not putting it in S. It was a good film, and I enjoy it thoroughly, and I will rewatch it anytime. It's just not as high for me as others. So that's where that's going. Secret Invasion. We're kind of getting into the last of the last few things now. Secret Invasion. For the first 5 episodes of the show, I loved it. I was making breakdown videos on the channel at the time about each episode. If you notice, there's 6 episodes. I only made 5 breakdowns. When I got to the finale, I did not like the finale. The finale did not land, and I despised it, to be honest. It felt like the first 5 episodes were wasted, and it could have been a lot better. A lot better. So, I don't think it's a bad show. Overall, 5 out of 6 is great. And I honestly am going to put it in a B just for the finale. Just for the finale, because I personally... Yeah, I think that's fair. It's a B. It's going to stay there. The finale kind of really ticked me off. It was how things were handled, and they set it up so beautifully. The death of Maria Hill, crazy. Gravik was an awesome villain. Seeing Nick Fury more, the Skrulls. The Skrulls this should have been a movie, not a 6-episode series. It should have been a film, maybe even 2. And I agree with some people that we should see the Super Skrull in a Fantastic Four setting, not just in this. So, Ben Mendelsohn's great though as Talos, so I enjoyed that show. Just can't go any higher than that. Loki, this is an A. There's a lot of people who think that this is the best show. It's very, very close. It's probably top 3 for sure. Loki was phenomenal both seasons. Tom Hiddleston as Loki is great. I personally think that there's 2 characters in the entire MCU who have the best arc out of all characters, and that is Iron Man and Loki. I honestly give Loki the slight edge as being the best character arc in the entire MCU. This show is phenomenal, and a lot of really good moments, especially the end of season 2, and just the dialogue that happens there. Like, oh man, Tom Hiddleston acted his heart out, and that show is phenomenal. Great. And it gives us kind of like oh, this happened to Kang. This is our way out of this. So it moved things along. But that show, great. Okay, we're going to get into a couple now that I have not seen. A couple of the newer projects I have not finished or watched yet. I have not seen the Marvels. So it's an F. Remember, F's not worst of worst. It's just haven't seen. So can't comment too much on that one. I want to see Iman Vellani again as her character. I've heard she had a great part in the film. I heard the movie overall was not bad. There's some people who don't like it at all. I'm kind of don't know if I'm looking forward to it, just because, like I mentioned, Captain Marvel's not my favorite. But we'll see. So that's where that is. Echo. Echo only had 5 episodes. And the 5 episodes were pretty good. I enjoy Kingpin a lot. Daredevil had his small moment. I wish it was longer. But this show I thought was enjoyable. I'm probably going to put this in a B as well. I don't think it's the upper echelon of shows. It's not a Loki. It's not a Hawkeye, Moon Knight, or WandaVision for me. But it was a good show, and I enjoyed it. And I even made, a TikTok at the time about it. And I talked about how like this show had me wanting, seriously, to learn sign language. I thought it was just so cool. And Alka Cox, phenomenal. She did great. And I thought the show was really well done. So I'll put it in the B. Deadpool and Wolverine. I have not seen this film either. And I have not seen Agatha all along. So those 3 are down there. Just because I haven't seen them yet. Probably not going to watch Agatha. That's just, I don't really have a desire to see that. What If? What If has been a lot of fun. I think overall, I haven't finished the 3rd season, but I can comment about the first 2, so I'll rank this one. There's a lot of really good episodes, and there's some I'm just like, this was kind of pointless. But overall, I think it's a great idea. I honestly have enjoyed a lot of it, and I will probably, I'm trying to think, B or A. I'll probably put it B. I think that's solid. And there's been some hits, some really good hits, and there's been some misses. But the concept, really cool. I'm looking forward to Marvel Zombies coming out. So that's where What If is going to go for me. Captain America Brave New World. I just watched this for the first time Sunday. So I'm a few months behind, but I watched it. And this movie was really good in my opinion. Would I put it in an A? No. And my reasoning behind why I would not put an A, I'm going to put it in a B, because they showed us the transformation of the Red Hulk in the trailer. This movie is a setup the entire time. Like, oh, what if Thaddeus Ross is going to turn into the Red Hulk? Well, we already knew he was, so it took some of the suspense out. I still would give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. Awesome scenes in the movie. Red Hulk's phenomenal. I thought Sam was great as Cap. It's just, this movie could have been better if the trailer didn't release everything. But yeah, Sam was great. I love Joaquin Torres as Falcon. I thought Giancarlo Esposito's 10-minute role, great. I enjoyed the leader. I thought he was better than what most people say. So, B for me. I'll put it in a B. Then we're moving on to Daredevil Born Again. I love Daredevil, like I prefaced earlier. I'm realizing now that they are missing a show from this list. So I'll talk about that in a moment. I'm putting Daredevil Born Again as an A. Do I think that it passes its predecessor in the Netflix series? No. We'll see more as season 2 comes out next year. But at the moment, I don't think it's better than the Netflix series. I love the Netflix series. Like I mentioned earlier, Daredevil is a top character for me, and I've met Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio and Deborah Ann Wool, and this show is special to me. I was happy they were introduced back into the MCU in No Way Home and Hawkeye, and then we finally got to see that, they're coming back. So this is an A for me, and I personally love this show. It's just not S for me. I won't do that. I had my one biased one where No Way Home is an S over an A, but that's the one. Thunderbolts. I don't know what people are talking about when they say that this movie is a flop. I don't know why. It's going to make about $100 million less than what they spent. This movie was great. Honestly, it's been one of the best films since Endgame. It's probably my top 4 films since Endgame, not in a particular order, would be Spider-Man, No Way Home. It would be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It would be Shang-Chi and the Thunderbolts. I thought they've all been phenomenal. Multiverse of Madness is up there as well, but yeah. I love the Thunderbolts. I had a great time with it. It felt like the MCU was back. It would have helped a little bit better if I saw Brave New World before I saw this, just context. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie, and I think it's an A. I think it has earned that. looking at my B list, the only movie that I would consider putting up to an A would be Captain America: The First Avenger. I love that movie, like I talked about earlier. That movie's great, but I'll leave it where it's at. The one project that is not on this tier list that should be, but it was not, that is X-Men 97. X-Men 97, if it was on this list, it was on the one we did the other day, it would be an S tier for me. I think that every episode of that show was flawless. Really good storytelling, really emotional at times, and that would be an S. So I would have 7 projects of the MCU as an S. It'd be Avengers, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, No Way Home, and X-Men 97. Those would be my top. And as you can tell, I'm high on a lot of things. A, pretty big list. Second, it's the most filled list. There's a lot of B's in these 10 projects of Marvel just were not it for me. Don't know about these yet, but these ones just were not it. Except for, actually, I won't even say that. These 7. Actually, I can't even say that. 6. Iron Man 2 is still good. These 6 projects just weren't the best. These were terrible, my own opinion. But, yeah, and I hate putting a show with Daredevil in an E, but I have to. And that's where my bias will not stay. But, like I mentioned earlier, if you stayed to the end of the video, you would hear this announcement. We are doing a giveaway when we get to one of these 2 goals, either 1,000 subscribers on the channel or 10,000 followers on TikTok. So when we reach one of those 2 goals, we have 2 Marvel Funko Pops that will be given away. There will be 2 winners, so one person gets one, the other person gets the other. There is the option. This was brought to my attention. There is an option if you would like me to sign the Funko Pop. If not, it's cool. Doesn't hurt my feelings. But that will be done when we reach one of those 2 goals, and the information about how to enter that will be at a later date when we reach that goal. So stay tuned for the giveaway. But that is all I have for today's list. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more Marvel content such as news, rankings, theories, and more, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Also, you can follow me for live updates at Nerds of the Multiverse on TikTok, at the Nerds of the Multiverse on Instagram, and at Nerds of the Mult1 on X. But that's all I have for today. I love you 3000, and I will see you in the next video.